Listen, you don't get to be a legend by taking the easy road. You don't become great by coasting. The real ones, the legends, they're forged in discomfort, in setbacks, in pain. That's where the real growth happens. That's where the weak break and the strong rise. Pain is the crucible where everything real is forged. People try to run from it, hide from it, numb it. But the truth is, pain is the thing that shapes you into something powerful. You can't become stronger without it. There's no version of greatness that comes without some form of suffering. You want to build muscle. You've got to tear it first. You want mental toughness. You've got to put yourself in hell and learn to breathe there. There is no shortcut. There is no comfort zone version of greatness. Pain is the cost. It's the rent you pay to own strength. Most people don't want to hear that. They want the fantasy, the hack, the motivation, the quick dopamine hit. But it's all noise. None of that matters when you're in the dirt. When your body is screaming, when your mind is doubting, and you've got nothing left except the choice to keep going or quit, that's when it's decided. That's the moment that separates people. The ones who rise in that moment, they're the ones who evolve, and not just physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Pain forces you to look in the mirror and see what you're made of. It strips away the lies, the ego, the excuses. There's no room for fake confidence when everything hurts. All that's left is you, raw, exposed, real. And that's why pain is so powerful, because it doesn't lie. It doesn't care about your opinions, your background, or your plans. It's real. It puts pressure on you until you either crack or adapt. And if you lean into it, if you face it head on, something crazy happens. You get better. Not just a little better. You grow in ways you never thought possible. You become someone who can carry more, endure more, do more. That growth doesn't come from feeling good. It comes from pushing through the days where you don't want to get up, where everything feels heavy and you still show up. People talk about leveling up, but they skip over the part where it feels like your world is on fire. That's the part that matters most. That's where you learn. That's where you evolve. Not when it's fun, when it's brutal, when it's lonely, when no one sees the effort. Pain teaches you patience. It humbles you. It sharpens your focus. It gives you perspective. The people who go through real pain, the kind that rattles your soul, they come out different. They carry wisdom. They carry strength that can't be faked. And here's the thing, the pain doesn't stop. It's not a one-time thing. Life keeps testing you. But if you've trained yourself to face it, to embrace it, you stop fearing it. You start respecting it. You use it. You turn it into fuel. Most people break at the first sign of pain. But the ones who don't, the ones who've walked through fire before, they know. They've been there, and they're not scared anymore. That's the difference. Pain doesn't control them. They've learned to master it. So if you're in pain right now, good. That means you're in the process. That means something real is being built inside of you. Stay in it. Learn from it. Push through it. Because that pain you're feeling, it's not punishment. It's preparation. It's shaping you into something unshakable. And in the end, that's what matters most. Not what you avoided, not what you escaped, but what you endured. There's no such thing as accidental greatness. That whole idea that someone just stumbles into success or that it's all luck and timing. It's complete nonsense. People want to believe that story because it's easier than facing the truth. The truth is, greatness demands everything. It demands your time, your energy, your focus, your pain, your sweat, your blood. You don't wake up one day and suddenly you're a legend. You grind for it, you fight for it, you break yourself down over and over again and rebuild something stronger every time. Behind every champion, every elite performer, every so-called overnight success is a trail of sleepless nights, early mornings, sacrifice, suffering that nobody saw. They see the highlight reel, but they didn't see the years of failure. They didn't see the moments of doubt. The doors slammed in their face, the silent battles with fear and insecurity. They only see the end result and think it came easy. Nothing worth having ever comes easy. If it's easy, it's cheap. If it's easy, everybody would have it. That's the difference. Legends earn what they have, and the price is paid daily. The hard part is that it's not just physical work. It's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual. You've got to confront every weakness inside you and destroy it. You've got to silence the voice in your head that tells you to quit. That's the real war. Not against the world, against yourself, against your laziness, your fear, your self-doubt. Every day, that version of you tries to take control. And every day, you've got to beat it down with discipline, with purpose, with work. Not once. Not for a season. Forever. There's this idea that you can become successful without paying full price, like you can hustle halfway, skip the pain, avoid the darkness. But that mindset is the reason most people stay stuck. They want results without sacrifice. They want the glory without the grind. It doesn't work like that. You have to go through the fire. You have to fail. You have to get knocked down, humiliated, embarrassed, and still come back swinging. And when everyone else gives up, you stay in the fight. That's what builds greatness. Not the wins, the refusal to quit. And here's the catch. No one's going to push you. No one's going to drag you across the finish line. You've got to decide this matters to you. You've got to want it so bad that you're willing to go through hell for it. That's when things start to shift. That's when you realize it's not about talent or resources. It's about obsession. It's about showing up every day like your life depends on it, because in a way it does. And when you do that long enough, when you put in so many reps, so many hours that it becomes who you are, people will call you gifted. They'll say you're lucky. They'll try to explain your greatness with something other than what it really is: relentless, brutal, consistent effort. You didn't stumble into it. You built it. You earned it. You bled for it. So stop waiting. Stop thinking there's some magic trick or backdoor to success. There isn't. There's just the grind. There's just the suffering. And there's the person willing to keep going no matter what. That's the one who becomes great. That's the one who makes history. And if you want that, you better be ready to pay the price, because the painful path is the only path. Discipline is everything. It's not exciting. It's not sexy. And it sure as hell isn't easy. But it's the one thing that separates the people who talk from the people who do. Everyone wants results. Everyone wants that transformation, that level up, that glow up, whatever the hell they're calling it now. But no one wants the boring part. No one wants the grind. They want the dream, but not the discipline that builds it. Comfort is poison. It seduces you. It whispers, "You've earned rest." Or, "Just take a break," when deep down you know you're bullshitting yourself. You know that comfort isn't making you better. It's keeping you still. It's lulling you into mediocrity. Every single day you have a choice. Do you chase what's easy, or do you lock in on what's hard and necessary? And most people, they fold. They hit the snooze button. They skip the workout. They scroll instead of study. They make excuses instead of changes. then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they're angry, why they're anxious. It's because deep down they know they're letting themselves off the hook. Discipline is the opposite. It's brutal honesty with yourself. It's showing up when you're tired, when you're stressed, when you're not motivated, and doing the damn work anyway. It's skipping the party, the distraction, the temporary pleasure. It's because you've got something bigger you're chasing, and you don't chase it with your mouth. You chase it with actions daily, over and over, without applause, without validation. The crazy part, most people think discipline is suffering. They think it's restriction, but that's because they've never stayed with it long enough to feel the freedom that comes from it. When you start living with discipline, you're not ruled by impulse anymore. You're not a slave to your cravings, your fears, or your distractions. You're in control. You tell your body, we're doing this. You tell your mind, we're staying locked in. That's power most people never touch because they quit too soon. The ones who stick with it, the ones who build their days around discipline. They're the ones who rise. They don't need motivation because they've built a system, a code, a standard. They don't wake up wondering if they feel like it. They do it because that's who they are now. The process rewires them, and the more they push through discomfort, the more they trust themselves, the more wins they stack. It becomes addictive, not because it's easy, but because it's real. You start to realize the discipline A is the reward. The work becomes the therapy. The pain becomes the path. Every grind, every sacrifice, it's building you. And when others are making excuses, you're making progress. You're getting sharper. You're getting and stronger. You're becoming someone that people look at and say, damn, they don't quit. But that only comes if you're willing to stop chasing what's comfortable and start committing to what's necessary. Discipline is the gatekeeper to everything you want. But most people won't walk through it because it's uncomfortable. That's the test. It's not, and it's one you take once. It's every day, every moment. You've got to choose it over and over until it's just who you are. So yeah, it's hard. It's exhausting. But so is staying stuck. So is regret. So is living a life where you know you could have been more but chose comfort instead. Discipline isn't the enemy. It's the invitation to rise, to become, to earn the life you want. You just have to accept it and then get to work. When everything's good, when life is smooth, when the sun's out and your energy is high, anyone can play the part. Anyone can act motivated. That's easy. But that's not where your character is revealed. You find out who you really are when you're in the pit. When your body is broken, your mind is tired, and no one's around to cheer you on. That's when the truth comes out. That's where identity is formed. That's when you meet the real version of yourself. The tough part is most people don't want to meet that version because it's uncomfortable. It's not polished. It's not smiling for social media. It's the part of you that has nothing left but grit, nothing left but willpower. You're not performing anymore. You're surviving. But here's the things in those moments, you're more real than you've ever been. Stripped of distractions, stripped of comfort, stripped of ego. It's just you and the storm and the way you respond to that pressure. That defines everything. That's why adversity is a gift, even though it doesn't feel like one. It's the mirror that shows you who you are without the mask. People talk all day about mindset, about confidence, about resilience, but none of that matters until you're tested. And you will be life will hit you hard. It'll take things from you. It'll shake your foundations. And you'll either find something inside yourself that says, keep going, or you'll fold. There's no in between. That's what adversity does. It forces you to choose who you want to be. And it's not a one-time thing. You don't just survive one hard day and now you're invincible. It's a constant challenge. Life keeps throwing punches, and every time you've got to decide, are you going to react with fear, or are you going to rise with fight? Are you going to use the pain, or are you going to let it break you? That's the internal battle. That's the test that never ends. But here's the upside. Every time you push through, every time you stare down the darkness and move forward anyway, you change. You get sharper, stronger. You become someone even you respect. You stop needing outside validation because you've seen what you're capable of when everything's falling apart. That's a kind of confidence you can't fake. That's power. That's what creates leaders, warriors, legends. The people who inspire the world aren't the ones who avoided hardship. They're the ones who embraced it, who took the pain and turned it into purpose, who learned from it instead of running from it. They've got scars, yeah, but those scars tell a story of someone who didn't quit, someone who kept swinging when the odds were against them. And that's what matters. Not that you stayed comfortable, but that you didn't back down. And the beautiful part, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up, keep fighting, keep refusing to stay down. Every time you do, you're writing your story, not with words, with actions, with resilience. And one day, you'll look back and realize that all those painful moments didn't destroy you. They revealed you. They built you. So stop avoiding the hard times. Stop hoping for the easy road, lean into it. Let it show you who you are, because the person you become on the other side of that struggle, that person's a monster. That person's a machine. That person is you without limits. The road to greatness is brutally lonely. That's the truth most people don't want to hear. Everyone thinks it's going to be this big, inspiring movie montage with cheering fans and motivational music. But real growth doesn't happen in front of an audience. It happens when no one's watching, when it's just you, the work, and the silence. No praise, no validation, just repetition, just the grind over and over again. That's what builds champions, the willingness to suffer in solitude. Most people can't handle that part. They need attention. They crave approval. They want someone to pat them on the back and say, you're doing great. But the top performers, the real killers, they don't need applause. They've made peace with the quiet. They don't chase recognition because they're not doing it for the world. They're doing it for themselves. They've got this internal fire, this obsession, and they let that fuel them through the cold, empty nights when most people are asleep or distracted or quitting. And it's not just physical loneliness. It's emotional. When you level up, your circle changes. You outgrow people. You stop relating to the same conversations, the same mindsets, the same week, ask excuses. People around you start getting uncomfortable because your discipline reminds them of their own lack of it. And without even trying, you start intimidating people just by being consistent. That's when the isolation gets real. Not because you want to be alone, but because you have to protect the standard you've built. You can't let comfort back in. You can't let mediocrity infect the mission. So you train alone, you think alone, you build in silence. And at first, it's hard. It feels heavy. You wonder if it's worth it. You look around and see people laughing, partying, living it up. and you're in the gym or at your desk grinding. But over time, that pain turns into pride. You realize you're walking a path most people don't even know exists. And you're becoming someone they'll never be, not because you're better, but because you're more Evs, committed, because you were willing to go where they weren't. That's the price. That's the toll you pay for greatness, loneliness, discipline, silence. The days when it's just you against the voice in your head telling you to quit. But if you keep going, if you embrace that solitude, it becomes your edge. While others need noise to feel worthy, you find peace in the quiet. You get stronger, more focused, more dangerous. And when success finally shows up, when the world finally sees the results of all those lonely hours, they'll call you gifted, lucky, blessed. But they'll never understand what it took. They weren't there when it was 4 a.m. and your body was broken. They didn't see the tears, the sacrifice, the decisions no one clapped for. And that's fine. You didn't do it for them. You did it because something inside you refused to settle. The lonely journey isn't a curse. It's a requirement. It's the filter that separates the curious from the committed, the crowd from the chosen, the ordinary from the elite. So if you're walking that path right now, if you're grinding in silence and no one sees you, good. That means you're doing it right. That means you're building something real. Don't run from the loneliness. Let it sharpen you. Let it turn you into something rare, something focused, something dangerous. Because legends aren't made in the spotlight, they're made in the shadows, alone, quiet, unshakable. Pain is the toll booth. It's the gateway. You don't get to pass through to anything worthwhile without paying in suffering. That's the law. No one's exempt. If you want to be exceptional, if you want to be respected, if you want to become something powerful, you're going to hurt. That's the truth no one wants to accept. People keep looking for ways to skip that part. They want the result without the sacrifice. They want the crown without the scars. But the painful path is the only one that leads to anything real. The thing is, pain doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't show up on your schedule. It kicks down the door when you least expect it, and it doesn't ask for permission. But the moment it arrives, you've got two choices: collapse under it or carry it. The people who rise, the people who make it to the top, they carry it. They learn how to function in chaos. They learn how to breathe through suffering. They adapt, they adjust, and they keep going, not because they enjoy pain, but because they understand its value. They know that pain teaches what comfort never can. You grow in the pain. That's where you learn discipline, patience, humility. That's where you develop grit. You don't get stronger from things going your way. You get stronger when everything goes wrong and you're still standing. You learn to trust yourself in those moments. You learn that you're capable of more than you ever thought. That's the reward, not just the trophy or the title, but the transformation. The person you become by surviving what was supposed to break you. And the deeper truth is this: the more painful the path, the more powerful the person it produces. Because that kind of pain doesn't just build toughness, it builds depth. It forces you to go inside yourself, to confront the weakest, softest parts of you, and either kill them or outgrow them. And most people never do that. Most people run the first time it gets hard. They retreat to distraction, to comfort, to excuses. And they stay there for the rest of their lives, wondering why they never changed. But the ones who embrace the pain, they unlock something different. They walk through fire and come out forged. They stop fearing failure because they've already been through hell and survived. They carry a kind of calm that can't be faked. That's what real strength looks like, not being untouched by pain, but being as unchanged by it. Not breaking when life hits, but bending, adapting, growing, and coming back sharper. And there's no finish line. That's the wild part. It's not like you go through pain once and now you're done. Life keeps testing you. New levels, new devils. But the good news is, once you've learned how to suffer with purpose, it becomes your weapon. While others run, you walk into the fire. While others freeze, you move forward. You stop seeing pain as a problem and start seeing it as proof. Proof that you're still in the game, that you're still alive, that you're still chasing something that matters. So the next time it hurts, good. That means it's working. That means you're evolving. That means you're paying the price. And that price, that's what makes it real. That's what makes it yours. You didn't borrow it. You didn't fake it. You earned it. And no one can take that from you, because the painful path isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's the only path that builds something worth becoming.